Welcome back. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the trade that I took on Friday. Kind of my thought process on what was going on, how I was going to approach the market, and everything like that. Just like a short breakdown. Hope you guys enjoyed that little preview of basically what I did. Now, there was a little screenshot that I posted in the pre-market plan Friday morning on what I was actually looking for coming into the market in the morning. I had this buy side level marked out at 19,978, and I measured the 4-hour SIBI along with marking out the order block on the 1-hour chart. So a lot of coexisting PD arrays on basically bearish order flow. And all I really wanted to see was price retrace from yesterday's displacement line. So as you can see, just my drawing out Thursday's opening price action and just basically yesterday's daily candle. I was anticipating some type of 50% retracement because I do trade a degree of OTE and turtle soup along with the 2022 model for those who are familiar with ICT concepts. So I was willing to see this buy side level get swept in the morning, and I was also had this 1-hour SIBI outlined here, which we did not close above, confirming a lot of direction. So set of equal highs, and really the setup kind of forms on the 5-minute, if you look at the 5-minute. And yes, it was a little ugly here, but it's basically the precept of just aligning all these variables with your thesis, because we're overall bearish, so not everything has to happen in the sense of that higher time frames buy side liquidity at this label right here has to get swept. If you notice, it's just like right under there. But are we entering a 4-hour SIBI? Yes. Did we find displacement after that? Clearly, because this whole entire displacement leg kind of paved the way for the rest of this move to kind of continue throughout the day. First things first here, I want to just highlight these pre-market highs here. And this is an accumulation. We are manipulating here. This is all manipulation here, guys. You guys have to kind of piece it together and kind of identify what stages of the market that we're in currently. And during that opening volatility bell at 9:30, you can anticipate some type of manipulation happening to basically distribute the rest of the price throughout the day. So if you kind of break things up like that and just look at this structure before the opening starts, it definitely helps you draw a picture coming into the morning on how you should probably approach things. Now, I did make a mistake this day on Friday, and one of the things that I did was just hop in a little too early, not letting that 9:30 manipulation manipulate. Here's what I did wrong. So instead, I was using this level of interior buy side as the liquidity sweep to actually deliver us lower here, and was anticipating when we retraced at this moment that around the open, we would retrace into the SIBI and then we would go lower. So I actually was short here, completely fading the fact that we have a lot of unmarked buy side liquidity down here. Anyway, opening bell happens, stop got completely ran above this high, and then after that we touched the buy side liquidity. So today, in this instance, was a lot about flexibility, just being able to be wrong and being able to reapproach the market without getting tilted after, basically joining and getting instantly destroyed. You know what I mean? You can't let that affect the next opportunity that's available to you. You always have to keep a clear mind and be flexible, because you never know when that moment is actually happening. A lot of the people who trade ICT concepts are super rigid and square with their rules. I will give you an example today on how I decided to bend my rules to capitalize on what the market was giving me. Now, after we entered this 4-hour SIBI and got this displacement, every time we get a huge leg of displacement like this, your goal is to not want to get in right away because price will retrace eventually. So I'm marking out the 50% here of that price leg in itself, and all we're going to do is observe price within this SIBI to see if we can move lower. So I'm instantly filling off it here. Yes, you are in a drawdown for a little bit. I wasn't sure if this higher SIBI up here was actually going to get filled. So I was leaving my stop a little open here, assuming a little bit more risk, because I'm going for 100 points here. $400 on the table for 1,000 doesn't sound too crazy to me. It's just really on your risk appetite. There were instances today or on Friday where you could have waited to actually get into your entry. But if you understand where the bias is actually going and you can stay composed, there's no problem with entering within any of these candles inside of the SIBI. I was anticipating some type of smart money reversal at this area, aka turtle soup. So if we pushed into this, it would give me enough of a condition to actually add to this position. Notice though, we actually didn't, and we kind of stopped right here, confirming lower, and then after that, respecting the SIBI that was created. Now, through all of this shop, we're ranging 50 points. If you can kind of look at the right-hand side of this chart, we are ranging 50 points. Now, that's super emotional enticing, and for me, it definitely was. I was actually in this trade for around 48 minutes, and I actually was really close to leaving a lot of the time, moving my stops because I wasn't comfortable, waiting. Right where my cursor is right here, I'm just going to highlight it with a little rectangle. I actually, within this series of candles, got out. I believe it was on this one right here with the little hammer wick. And I got out because I didn't like the way price was reacting to being at these equal lows again. And I was anticipating something like this where a group of strong up closing candles was going to kind of push us maybe and redeliver up to this buy side that was actually left, unswept. So it was definitely a possibility on the hand. But I noticed as soon as it jerked up and it was a super green candle, I got out instantly. As soon as it slammed back down, not even within a minute and a half, I had already re-entered. Now, is that a precision ICT entry? Absolutely not. However, if you understand that the state of delivery is bearish and, you're convinced, like right here, I would anticipate speed below this local low. And which we get? We got speed below. So why wouldn't I get back in here and take the rest of my partial of the trade? If you aren't comfortable with that, by all means, stick to the outlines of which your trading setup entices. However, for me as a trader who understands what they're seeing, I was willing to put more risk on the table right here. And this was just a little kill shot. And I believe it was like a 50-point kill shot in, 3 minutes right there. And that's something that I'm willing to do, not all the time, but every once in a while when, the structure entices. I've never really seen structure like this and taped read it live while in a trade the whole entire time. So it definitely gave me a little bit more context of how these moves actually like to go. However, at this point in time, after this hammer wick actually closed, I was anticipating that we were just going to at least drop to this local low, and I targeted a 15-minute structure down here. And as you can see, it did deliver and a little bit lower all the way to the external. Notice we did plan for this on the pre-market. So every day we're always going to come up to the market with a plan in mind. So if all of these things are aligning with my plan, there's no reason for me not to take this trade here or take this trade here, because everything happened that needed to happen for in order to the market to actually move lower at this point. But that was a rough take on my trade on Friday the 19th, 2024. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. This was $800, and I'm super content with this end of the week trade today.